finally, she brings us to the epilogue of The Artist's Way and how we can continue the journey once we've mastered the tasks in the book. I loved this book so much that I wanted to give you an opportunity to take part in it, if just a little bit. So I pulled out one of my favorite exercises from week 1, recovering a sense of safety. So I challenge you to ask these questions of yourself, and I'll walk you through how I did it. So this particular exercise is number 8 in several exercises at the end of recovering a sense of safety in the Artist's Way. And it starts out like this. It has to do with imaginary lives. If you had 5 other lives to lead, what would you do in each of them? And then she offers this: I would be a pilot, a cowhand, a physicist, a psychic, and a monk. You might be a scuba diver, a cop, a writer of children's books, a football player or a belly dancer, a painter, a performance artist, a history teacher, a healer, a coach, a scientist, a doctor, a Peace Corps worker, a psychologist, a fisherman, a minister, wink, an auto mechanic, a carpenter, a sculptor, a lawyer, a painter, a computer hacker, a soap opera star, a country singer, a rock and roll drummer. Whatever occurs to you, jot it down. Do not overthink this exercise. The point is to have fun. Look over your list and then select one. Then do it this week. I know that sounds crazy. For instance, if you put down country singer, can you pick at a guitar? If you dream of being cowhand, what about some horseback riding lessons? So I've been thinking about this, and I've been very fortunate because one of the things that I always wanted to be was a fashion designer, and I was able to do that and travel the world, and it was a wonderful job. And then I grew out of that and I became something else. I wanted to be in ministry my whole life and just didn't really know it. And so I ended up doing that. I pursued it through the Presbyterian Church USA, which brings me to the very moment of now, working on this presentation of The Artist's Way for our D-Min class. I know that I would absolutely love in another life to be a gospel singer, a recording artist. And I've always been passionate about music, especially vocal music, and especially music that's centered around God. Another job I would love to have is an art historian who works in a museum as a curator over a textile and fashion clothing collection. Now, I had a little glimpse of this when I was at Henry Ford Museum in Greenfield Village in Dearborn, Michigan. I was a costume designer there for a while. I love the historical understanding of textiles and design and fabrics and techniques of sewing and the artistry of it all. That leaves me with, 2 more, if I can do math correct, and maybe I'm not even doing math correctly. I'd have to really stop and think. I wish I could be a gardener because, again, I love the artistry of the varying colors of flowers and the kinds. I really don't have a green thumb. So I think the best I could do this week, if I were to become a master gardener, is that of going to Kroger, buying some really awesome cut flowers in the floral department, and then crafting an arrangement on my table to enjoy, not only for myself, but also for my family to enjoy. I'm not sure what that number comes to, but I'm going to keep writing out some additional lives. Why stop at 5 when you don't have to? And just think of what small ways you can incorporate in your life to give you that joy and to move you toward that goal. Maybe if you want to be an astronaut, you can go to a science museum and check out a planetarium. So there are a lot of things that you can do to spur on your inner artistic self. And I certainly hope that you have enjoyed this particular exercise with me today. Overall, I think you can tell through this video that I've really enjoyed working on this book, reading this book, and applying some of the exercises, the morning pages, the artist dates, and I feel it's really given me a freshness in my life. It's given me a little bit of wind in places that might seem dull or uninspiring. So I encourage you to check it out, You don't have to feel convicted to live through the whole book, but check out some of the pages. I think that you might be inspired in doing so. I would love to close with this prayer that she wrote. It's called an artist's prayer. And I think that you can see a lot of faithfulness in her and gratitude in her being shared to God through the use of creative and artistic inspiration. O great Creator, we are gathered together in your name that we may be of greater service to you and to our fellows. We offer ourselves to you as instruments. We open ourselves to your creativity in our lives. We surrender to you our old ideas. We welcome your new and more expansive ones. We trust that you will lead us. We trust that it is safe to follow you. We know you created us and that creativity is your nature and our own. We ask you to unfold our lives according to your plan, not our low self-worth. Help us to believe that it is never too late and that we are not too small or too flawed to be healed by you and through each other and made whole. Help us to love one another, to nurture each other's unfolding, to encourage each other's growth, and to understand each other's fears. Help us to know that we are not alone, that we are loved and are lovable. Help us to create as an act of worship to you this day and always. There's one last thing. Call it a PS, a postscript. Come on over here. I know that we were supposed to be doing this by ourselves. And I actually have a little shadow artist here with me, my daughter Maggie, who's 12. And one of my selfish motivations for reading this book and doing it for class, to present it to the class, is that I really wanted to teach my daughter Maggie a little bit about the artist's way as well. So she was with me filming and helping me on my artist journey, my date, and even my morning pages. And I hope that she picks up a couple of these things so that she can continue to be the most amazing artist that she already is. She can continue to flourish in those gifts. So thank you, honey, for helping me out.